postcard trembled in my hands as I read the message again. "We hope you understand that everything we did was for the best. Love, Mom and Dad." My fingernails dug crescents into the cardstock, fighting the urge to tear it to shreds right there in the attorney's office. I'm Tessa, and I just watched my parents' entire estate, every penny of their fortune, every property, every family heirloom, get handed to my older brother Terence on a silver platter. Meanwhile, all I got was this insulting piece of cardboard with a generic sunset photo on the front. Are there any questions? Mr. Patterson, the family attorney, adjusted his wire-rimmed glasses and looked around the room. My parents sat stone-faced, while Terence wore that familiar smug smile I'd grown to hate. "Actually, yes." My voice came out steadier than I expected. "I'd like to understand the reasoning behind this decision." Mum's lips tightened into a thin line. "Tessa, we've discussed this. The family business needs a strong leader to carry on the legacy. Terence has proven himself capable. By running 2 branches into the ground," I cut in, earning a sharp look from Dad. "That's enough," he warned. "The decision is final." Terence leaned back in his leather chair, spreading his arms. "Come on, sis. You know I'll take care of you if you ever need anything." The patronising tone made my stomach turn. I stood up, gathering my purse. "No thanks. I've never needed your handouts before, and I certainly won't start now." "Tessa, don't be dramatic," Mum sighed. "This is exactly why we made this choice. You're too emotional, too impulsive." "Too female?" I suggested, watching her flinch. "Just say what you really mean, Mom. We both know Terence got everything because he's your precious son, not because of merit." Mr. Patterson cleared his throat uncomfortably. "Perhaps we should take a moment to—" "No need," I said, already heading for the door. "I got the message loud and clear, 30 years of it, actually." My heels clicked against the marble floor as I strode through the lobby, pushing through the revolving doors into the crisp autumn air. My phone buzzed, Julia calling, right on schedule. "How bad was it?" she asked without preamble. I laughed bitterly, sliding into my car. "Remember when I said my expectations couldn't get any lower? I was wrong." "Those bastards," Julia muttered. "Want me to come over with wine and plotting materials?" "Make it tequila," I said, starting the engine. "And bring your business planning notebook. I have an idea." "Tessa!" My mother's voice rang out across the parking lot. I looked up to see her hurrying toward my car, designer heels clicking frantically. "Please, let's talk about this." I rolled down my window just enough to make eye contact. "There's nothing left to say, Mom. You and Dad made your choice. Now I'm making mine." "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means I'm done trying to earn a place in this family. From now on, I'm building my own legacy." I shifted into reverse. "Oh, and Mom, keep the postcard. I have better things to do than understand your excuses." As I pulled away, I caught a glimpse of her shocked expression in my rearview mirror. It was the same look she'd given me when I'd won the state business competition in high school, the one Terence had dropped out of because it was beneath him. The same look when I'd graduated summa cum laude, while Terence barely scraped by with his C average. "You still there?" Julia's voice crackled through my Bluetooth. Yeah," I said, turning onto the highway, just thinking about how satisfying it's going to be when I prove them all wrong. "Now that's what I like to hear. My place in 20. I smiled for the first time that day. "Make it 30. I need to stop by the bank first." "Ooh, mysterious. Should I be worried?" "Not at all," I said, changing lanes, "but Mom and Dad definitely should be. I'm about to cash out every investment they ever made in my name. All the birthday bonds, graduation savings, everything. It's not much compared to what Terence got, but it's enough seed money to start something big." "And what exactly are we starting?" I thought about the business plan I'd been secretly developing for months, the one I'd never shared because I knew my family would dismiss it. Something that's going to make them wish they'd paid more attention to their emotional, impulsive daughter. Julia's excited squeal came through the speakers. I'm in, whatever it is, but Tess, promise me one thing. What's that? Promise me this isn't just about revenge. You're better than that. I gripped the steering wheel tighter, thinking about that patronizing postcard. It's not just about revenge, Jules. It's about justice. And trust me, Karma's about to learn my name. Remember when Dad caught us playing in his office? I asked Julia, spreading old photos across her living room floor. Terence blamed me for spilling coffee on his contracts, even though he was the one who knocked it over. Julia topped off our glasses with more tequila. And let me guess, they believed him without question? Got grounded for 2 weeks. I picked up a family photo from my high school graduation. The best part? Terence admitted years later that he did it, and Mom just laughed it off as boys being boys. God, your brother's always been such a trust fund brat, I supplied, making Julia snort. I was going to say something worse, but yeah, that works too. She pulled out her notebook. Now, enough memory lane. Tell me about this big idea of yours. I sat up straighter, excitement replacing the bitter taste of old memories. You know how my parents' company basically monopolizes luxury real estate development in the city? Yeah, and they're notorious for it. Half the small businesses downtown got pushed out because of their projects. Exactly, I grabbed her laptop. But what if someone created a business incubator specifically designed to help those small businesses thrive? Affordable retail spaces, shared resources, mentorship programs? Julia's eyes widened. You want to go head-to-head with your family's empire? Not directly, I said, pulling up the research I'd been collecting. I want to build something they never considered important enough to touch, something that actually helps people instead of just making the rich richer. My phone buzzed, Terence calling. I declined it immediately. He's been trying to reach me all day, I explained to Julia's questioning look. Probably wants to gloat or offer me some patronizing consolation prize. Right on cue, a text popped up. Come on, sis, don't be like this. Let me take you to dinner and we can talk. Don't respond, Julia advised, reading over my shoulder. He's just trying to maintain his good guy image. Trust me, I won't. I turned back to the laptop. Look at these statistics. There's a huge demand for affordable business spaces in the city. My parents' company keeps building luxury condos and high-end shopping centres, but nobody's addressing the needs of small business owners and startups. Julia scribbled furiously in her notebook. This could work, Tess, but you'll need serious backing. Ready ahead of you. I pulled out my phone, showing her an email. Remember Isaiah from my MBA program? He's been killing it in venture capital. We're meeting him for coffee tomorrow. The hot one who always had a crush on you? I rolled my eyes. He did not have a crush on me, and that's not the point. He knows the market, and he knows good investments when he sees them. My phone buzzed again. Mum this time. The message preview made my blood boil. Honey, please be reasonable. Your father and I only want what's best for the family. Julia grabbed my phone before I could reply. No drunk texting your mum. Focus on the plan. She was right. I took a deep breath and returned to my notes. I've already identified 3 potential properties. They're all in up-and-coming areas, currently undervalued because they need renovation. With the right vision and the right revenge motivation, Julia teased. That's just a bonus, I said, but we both knew better. The real goal is to create something meaningful, something that proves I never needed their approval or their money to succeed. Julia's expression softened. You know what the best revenge would be? Building something so amazing that they can't ignore it, something that makes them realize exactly what they overlooked. A memory flashed through my mind. Being 16, presenting my first business proposal to Dad, watching him dismiss it without even reading past the first page. Too ambitious, he'd said. Focus on something more. suitable for your skills. You're right, I said, standing up suddenly. Hand me that marker. I walked to Julia's wall-length mirror and wrote in big letters, Summer Innovation Hub, where small dreams grow big. Summer? Julia raised an eyebrow. Isn't that a bit on the nose? It's my name too, I said, stepping back to admire the impromptu logo. And I'm taking it back. They wanted Terence to be the only Summer in business? Well, surprise! There's room for 2 of us in this city. Julia raised her glass. To the better, Summer. I clinked my glass against hers, feeling more energized than the tequila could account for. To proving them wrong. The mirror writing might have been slightly crooked, and my plans might have been fueled by equal parts ambition and anger, but standing there in Julia's apartment, I felt something I hadn't experienced in years. Pure, unshakable certainty. My phone buzzed one more time. Another text from Terence. Don't do anything stupid, sis. I smiled, finally typing back. Too late. I'm doing something brilliant instead. Your numbers are solid, Isaiah said, sliding my business proposal back across the coffee shop table. But you're thinking too small. I blinked. Too small? This is a multi-million-dollar project. He leaned forward, his dark eyes intense. And it could be a billion-dollar empire. Look, Tessa, I've seen countless business plans, but this one... He tapped the folder. This has potential to revolutionize how small businesses grow in every major city. You really think so? I know so. He pulled out his laptop. But first we need to address the elephant in the room, your family's company. My stomach tightened. What about them? They're going to try to block this. The moment they realize what you're doing, they'll use every connection they have to make things difficult. Let them try, I said, but Isaiah held up his hand. That's exactly the attitude we don't need. This isn't about revenge, Tessa. It's about building something better than what they've done, something they can't touch because it serves a market they've ignored. My phone lit up with another text from Terence. Heard you're meeting with investors. Don't embarrass yourself. Isaiah caught the message before I could hide it. See, they're already watching. We need to be smarter than them. Fine, I sighed. What do you suggest? He turned his laptop around, showing me a presentation. First, we diversify your investor pool. I can bring in 5 solid venture capitalists who'd love this concept. Second, we target properties your family's company has overlooked, not because they're bad investments, but because they don't fit the luxury model. I've already found 3 potential locations. I know better ones, he interrupted, pulling up a map. These buildings are owned by the city. They're historical properties that need renovation. Your parents' company won't touch them because of the preservation requirements, but they're perfect for what you want to do. My mind raced with possibilities. And the city would love the job creation angle. Exactly. Isaiah smiled. Now you're thinking like a CEO. The bell above the coffee shop door chimed, and my heart stopped. Mum walked in, spotting us immediately. Tessa, what a surprise! Her fake cheerfulness made my skin crawl. And Isaiah, I haven't seen you since Tessa's graduation. Isaiah stood smoothly, subtly sliding my business plan into his briefcase. Mrs. Summer, lovely to see you, just catching up with an old friend. How nice. Her eyes flickered to the papers on our table. And what are you two catching up about? Before I could respond, Isaiah jumped in. I was actually picking Tessa's brain about some investment properties. Her market insights are incredible, must run in the family. Mum's smile tightened. Yes, well, business acumen certainly does run strong in our line, though some of us are more naturally suited to it than others. Really? Isaiah's tone remained pleasant, but his eyes hardened. Because from what I've seen, Tessa's got the sharpest business mind of anyone I know. In fact, Isaiah, I cut in, standing up, we should head to that meeting. Of course. He gathered his things, then turned to Mom. Always a pleasure, Mrs. Summer. And don't worry, I'll take good care of your daughter's investments. Mum's face paled slightly. As we walked past her, I couldn't resist adding, "By the way, Mum, tell Terence his spy network needs work. Next time, he might want to be more subtle about tracking my meetings." Outside, Isaiah burst out laughing. "That was beautiful, but now we definitely need to move fast. Your mother will report straight back to your father." "Good," I said, pulling out my phone. "While they're focused on whatever they think we're planning, we can get started on the real work. Can you set up those investor meetings?" "Already on it. But Tessa—" He touched my arm, stopping me. "Are you sure you're ready for this? Once we start, there's no going back." I showed him Terence's text from earlier. "See this? They already think I'm going to fail. They're already laughing at me. The only difference is, now I have a chance to prove them wrong." "All right, then." Isaiah pulled out his phone. "I'll set up the meetings for next week. In the meantime, start working on your pitch. Make it personal, make it powerful, but keep the family drama out of it. Investors need to see the visionary, not the vengeful daughter." "The visionary," I repeated, testing the word. "I like that." "You should. It's what you are." He smiled. "Now, want to go look at those properties I mentioned? The city planner owes me a favour. We can get in today." I glanced back through the coffee shop window where Mum was still watching us, phone pressed to her ear. No doubt calling Dad or Terence. "Lead the way," I said, turning my back on her. "It's time to show this city what a summer can really build." "Tell me about the postcard again," Marcy said, her notepad balanced on her knee. The therapist's office felt warmer today, or maybe it was just the topic making my face flush. "It's stupid," I muttered. "I should be over it by now." "Should you? Your parents essentially wrote off 30 years of emotional neglect with a generic message on a tourist shop postcard. That seems worth unpacking." I shifted in the leather chair. "The investors didn't think so. When I pitched to them yesterday, Isaiah made me take out any mention of my family motivation." "This isn't an investor meeting," Marcy reminded me. "This is about processing your feelings so they don't control your decisions." My phone buzzed. Another text from Terence. I showed it to Marcy. "Dad's furious about the city council meeting. What are you playing at?" "And how does that make you feel?" she asked. "Honestly? Satisfied?" I smiled. "The council approved our proposal for the historical buildings. 3 properties, all prime locations, and there's nothing my family can do about it." "That's not what I asked." I sighed. "Fine. It makes me feel powerful. For the first time, I'm the one making them react instead of the other way around." Marcy scribbled something down. "And this power, is it healing the hurt or just masking it?" Before I could answer, my phone rang. Dad's name flashed on the screen. "Take it," Marcy encouraged. "Let's handle this in real time." My hand shook slightly as I answered. "Hello?" "What the hell do you think you're doing?" Dad's voice boomed through the speaker. "Those buildings were on our acquisition list." "Really? That's funny, because according to the city records, your company never submitted a bid." "Because we were waiting for the right time. You had no right." "I had every right," I cut in, surprising myself with my steady tone. "I'm a private citizen making a business investment. Or is that only allowed when Terence does it?" "This isn't about your brother. This is about you deliberately undermining family interests." "No, Dad. This is about me finally pursuing my own interests. The fact that it conflicts with your plans, that's just karma." Marcy gave me an approving nod. "Listen here, young lady." "No, you listen." The words burst out before I could stop them. "For 30 years, I've listened to you tell me what I can't do, what I'm not ready for, what I'm not capable of. Well, guess what? The City Council disagrees, the investors disagree, even your own former business partners disagree." Silence on the other end. What do you mean, former partners? He finally asked. Check your email. 3 of your biggest investors just signed on with Summer Innovation Hub. Turns out they love the idea of supporting small businesses instead of crushing them. I could hear him shuffling papers, probably rushing to his computer. You can't do this, he said, but his voice had lost its authority. I already did. And Dad, that emotional, impulsive daughter you wrote off, she just outmaneuvered your entire legal team. I hung up, hands trembling. How do you feel? Marcy asked quietly. Like I'm going to throw up. I laughed shakily. But also, free? Good, that's progress. She leaned forward. But Tessa, success isn't the same as healing. What happens after you prove them wrong? What then? My phone buzzed again. This time it was Isaiah. News just broke about the investors. Your family's company stock dropped 3%. You okay? I don't know, I admitted to Marcy, showing her the text. Part of me wants to celebrate every hit they take, but another part misses the family you wished you had. Tears pricked at my eyes. Is that pathetic, after everything they've done? It's human, Marcy said gently. You can be proud of your success and still grieve the relationship you deserve to have. Julia's text came next. Holy shit! You're trending on local business news. Summer Air launches revolutionary business incubator. Call me. Look at that, Marcy smiled. They're already calling you an heir. But I'm not, I said. That's the point. Everything I'm building on my own. Are you? Or are you building it to prove something to them? I stared at the growing stream of notifications on my phone. Maybe both. Does that make it less valid? No, Marcy said, closing her notebook. It makes it honest, and honesty is where healing starts. As if on cue, a final text came through, from Mom. We need to talk, please. I showed it to Marcy. What do you think? I think, she said carefully, that you're finally operating from a position of strength. The question is, what do you want to do with that power? I looked at Mum's text again, thinking about the postcard that started it all. I want to show them exactly who I am, not who they thought I was or who they wanted me to be, just me. Then that's your next step, Marcy said. Not as an heir, not as a rebel, but as Tessa, just Tessa. We have a problem, Isaiah announced, bursting into my temporary office. The renovation noise from downstairs echoed through the historic building's walls. Your brother just bought the property next door. I looked up from my laptop. What? How? Shell company. He dropped a stack of papers on my desk. He outbid us by $500,000. The sale closed this morning. Damn it! I scanned the documents. This is going to affect our parking situation. That's not all. Julia appeared in the doorway, her face grim. 3 of our committed tenants just pulled out. Apparently, they received some interesting calls about the stability of our project. My phone rang. Terence? This time, I answered. Enjoying your little setback, sis? His smug voice made my teeth clench. Real mature Terence, using Daddy's money to play spoiler? Oh no, this was all my own money. Just wanted to show you how real business is done. I caught Isaiah's eye. He was grinning and giving me a thumbs up while pointing at his tablet. That's funny, I said, keeping my voice level, because I just got some interesting information about your latest business ventures. Those 2 branches you ran into the ground. The board's launching an investigation. Silence on the other end. What investigation? His voice had lost its swagger. The kind that looks into mysterious cash withdrawals and questionable consulting fees. Did you really think nobody would notice? You're bluffing. Check your email. I just forwarded you some fascinating documents. Amazing what people will share when they're tired of covering up someone else's mistakes. The line went dead. Within seconds, my phone lit up with texts from Dad. He's panicking, Isaiah said, reading over my shoulder. But we need to move fast on those tenants. If we lose any more... Already handled, Julia interrupted, waving her phone. "I just got off a call with that tech startup incubator we met last week. They want the entire third floor. That's double the space our dropouts were taking." I raised an eyebrow. The one that was on the fence before? What changed their mind? Apparently, someone leaked Terence's real estate play to the press. They're calling it a desperate attempt to sabotage an innovative community project. The startup wants to be part of the David versus Goliath story. Isaiah laughed. "Sometimes karma works fast, but we're not out of the woods yet. Your family still has enough pull to make things difficult. Let them try." I stood up, walking to the window overlooking the construction below. Every move they make just proves why this project is necessary. They think business is about crushing competition. We'll show them it's about creating opportunity. My phone buzzed again, Mum this time. "What have you done? Your father is furious." "Good," Julia said, reading the message. "Let him be furious. But Tess, maybe we should hire some security. Your brother seems unhinged." "Already done," Isaiah said. "And I've got our legal team preparing restraining orders just in case. The last thing we need is family drama disrupting the construction schedule." A commotion downstairs caught our attention. Through the window, I saw Terence's Mercedes pull up to the curb. "Speaking of family drama," I muttered. "Julia, call security. Isaiah, start recording." Terence burst through the office door moments later, face red. "You had no right. Those records were confidential." "Funny how you're more worried about the records than explaining what's in them," I said calmly. "And they're not confidential when they're part of a board investigation." "You think you're so clever, playing at business?" He stepped forward, but Isaiah moved between us. "You have no idea what you're dealing with." "Actually, I do." I held up my phone, showing him the recording app. "I know exactly what I'm dealing with. A spoiled brat who's finally facing consequences. How's Dad taking the news about his golden boy's creative accounting?" Security appeared in the doorway. Terence glanced at them, then back at me. "This isn't over," he snarled. "You're right," I agreed. "It's just beginning. Now get out of my building before I have you removed." After he left, Julia let out a low whistle. "That was intense. You okay?" "Never better." I turned to Isaiah. "How soon can we get that parking situation sorted?" "Already working on it. The city owns a lot 2 blocks away. We might be able to arrange a shuttle service for tenants." "Perfect." I sat back down at my desk. "Julia, call the press. It's time to announce our partnership with the tech incubator. Let's show everyone what real community development looks like." "And your family?" she asked hesitantly. I thought about Terence's rage, Dad's fury, Mum's desperate texts. They made their choice a long time ago. Now they get to watch while I make mine. Isaiah nodded approvingly. "Now that's what I call karma." "No," I corrected him, picking up the old postcard from my desk drawer. "That's what I call justice." "Your mother's here," Julia announced, poking her head into my office. "Want me to tell security to send her away?" I glanced at the construction site through my window, where the Summer Innovation Hub sign was being installed. "No, let her up. It's time we had this conversation." Mum appeared moments later, looking oddly out of place in her designer suit among our startup casual workspace. Her eyes took in the exposed brick walls, the collaborative spaces, the energy of young entrepreneurs bustling around. "This is not what I expected," she admitted. "Let me guess. You thought it would be a mess. Amateur hour?" I kept my voice neutral, continuing to sign documents at my desk. "Tessa, please." She sat down uninvited. "Can we talk about what's happening with your brother?" "You mean the investigation into his embezzlement, or his failed attempt to sabotage my project?" "He's falling apart. Your father had to remove him from the board temporarily." "Because he stole from the company," I finished. "Funny how that works." "He made mistakes," Mum conceded, But he's family. Surely we can find a way to handle this privately. I finally looked up. Like you handled giving away my inheritance, privately, with a postcard. She flinched. We thought— No, I cut her off, standing up. Let me show you what you thought. I led her through the building, past teams of people working on their startups, past the Shared Resources Centre, past the mentorship offices. See that woman there? I pointed to a young entrepreneur presenting to her team. She had to close her business when your company tripled the rent on her retail space. Now she's rebuilding here, stronger than before. And that man, his family restaurant was bought out and demolished for one of your luxury condos. He's opening 2 new locations with our support. Tessa, business is what you make it, I interrupted. You and Dad taught Terence that success means crushing competition. I'm teaching these people that success means lifting each other up. My phone buzzed. Isaiah sending an update. Board meeting leaked. Terence officially suspended pending investigation. I showed Mum the message. Your golden boy isn't so shiny anymore, is he? Is that what this is about? She demanded. Revenge? No, Mom, this is about justice. Every person in this building has a story about how your company's greed hurt them. I'm just giving them a chance to write a better ending. And what about your brother's ending? Your father's legacy? Their endings are their own responsibility, just like mine is mine, though you never thought I could handle that. Julia appeared with a tablet. Sorry to interrupt, but the mayor's office is confirming for next week's ribbon cutting. They love the job creation numbers. Mum's eyes widened. The mayor is attending your opening, along with the city council, state representatives, and about a dozen major media outlets, Julia added, not bothering to hide her satisfaction. Turns out people are interested in business innovation that helps communities instead of destroying them. I see. Mum stood, smoothing her skirt. Well, I should— Before you go, I said, pulling an envelope from my desk. Here's an invitation to the opening. Bring Dad and Terence if you want. See what your emotional, impulsive daughter built while you weren't paying attention. She took the envelope with trembling fingers. Tessa, we never meant— Yes, you did, I said quietly. You meant every dismissal, every comparison to Terence, every time you told me I wasn't good enough. The only difference is now I know you were wrong. The board is meeting tomorrow about Terence, she said, changing tactics. Perhaps if you spoke up for him. Really? I laughed incredulously. He tried to destroy my business, and you want me to save him? That's exactly why he ended up like this. You and Dad always cleaning up his messes, never letting him face consequences. He's your brother, and I'm your daughter. The words echoed through the office. But that never seemed to matter before, did it? Heads turned in the open workspace. Mum stepped back, clutching her designer bag like a shield. The opening is next Friday at 7, I said, regaining my composure. Come or don't, it's your choice. But either way, Summer Innovation Hub is happening. And unlike Terence's projects, we're already profitable. After she left, Julia brought me a coffee. You okay? Better than okay. I watched Mum's car pull away through the window. Send the final guest list to security. If my family shows up, they get treated like any other guest. No special access, no private tours. And if they try anything— I thought about the postcard, still sitting in my desk drawer. Then they'll learn what it feels like to be on the outside looking in. Sometimes karma needs a little help delivering its lessons. They're here, Julia whispered, nudging me as I prepared for my opening speech. Through the crowd of hundreds gathered in the hub's main atrium, I spotted them, Mom, Dad, and a subdued-looking Terence hovering near the back. Good, I said, straightening my blazer. Make sure they stay there. No VIP treatment. Isaiah appeared with the mayor, both grinning. Ready to make history? Born ready. I I took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage. Camera flashes erupted as I approached the podium. The crowd fell silent, and I could feel my parents' eyes boring into me. "Welcome to Summer Innovation Hub," I began, my voice steady. "Some of you might be wondering why we chose that name. Why not something more corporate, more traditional?" I caught Dad's slight frown, Mum's nervous fidget. The answer is simple. Because nothing about this project is traditional. We're not here to build another luxury complex or high-end shopping centre. We're here to build something much more valuable: opportunities. The mayor nodded encouragingly. "Maybe every person in this building has a story. Maria, whose family bakery was forced out of business by rising rents, she's opening 2 locations next month. David, whose tech startup couldn't afford office space, he just secured his first $1 million in funding." I locked eyes with my father. "Some people think business success means crushing competition. We believe it means lifting each other up." Terence shifted uncomfortably. "In just 3 months, we've created over 200 jobs. We've launched 30 small businesses. We've provided affordable workspace to entrepreneurs who were told they didn't belong in the business world." The crowd erupted in applause. I waited for it to die down before continuing. "I know what it's like to be told you don't belong, to have your dreams dismissed, your potential questioned. But standing here today, I can tell you this: success is the best revenge." Mum's face went pale. "No, scratch that." I pulled the old postcard from my pocket. "Success isn't about revenge at all. It's about proving something to yourself, not others. It's about creating value, not destroying competition. It's about—" A commotion at the back interrupted me. Terence was pushing his way forward. "This is ridiculous," he shouted. "You think you're so perfect, so righteous. Tell them about how you leaked confidential documents. Tell them how you destroyed our family." Security moved toward him, but I held up my hand. "No, let him speak. In fact, let's talk about those documents, Terence. Let's talk about the $2 million you embezzled from Dad's company." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Journalists' cameras clicked frantically. "That's enough!" Dad stepped forward, but the mayor blocked his path. "You're right, it is enough," I agreed. "Enough favoritism, enough cover-ups, enough of the old way of doing business. Look around, Dad. This is the future. These are the people you overlooked, the dreams you dismissed, all coming together to build something extraordinary." I turned back to the crowd. Summer Innovation Hub isn't just a building. It's a promise to every person who's ever been told they're not good enough, not ready enough, not worthy enough. It's proof that success doesn't have to come at someone else's expense. The applause was deafening. I saw my parents quietly escorting Terence out, their faces a mix of shame and shock. "And now," I continued, "I'd like to invite our first wave of successful entrepreneurs to share their stories." An hour later, after the speeches and ribbon cutting, Julia found me in my office. "That was incredible," she said, handing me a glass of champagne. "But are you okay? That thing with Terence?" "Actually, I am." I smiled, looking out at the celebration below. "For the first time, I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be." Isaiah knocked on the door. "Sorry to interrupt, but you need to see this. We're trending nationwide. The video of your speech. It's going viral." He showed me his phone, thousands of shares, comments pouring in from entrepreneurs around the country asking about expansion plans. "See?" Julia grinned. "This is bigger than your family now. This is a movement." My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. "We need to talk. Your father, he's impressed. And I'm sorry." "What are you going to do?" Julia asked, reading over my shoulder. I thought about the postcard, still sitting on the podium downstairs. About all the times they'd made me feel small, inadequate, unworthy. "I'm going to do what I've been doing," I said, typing a response. "Build something meaningful. They can either watch from the outside or learn to do business a better way. Their choice. Isaiah raised his glass. To choices. No, I corrected him, looking out at my real family, the entrepreneurs, dreamers and builders celebrating below. To new beginnings. You kept it, Mum said, picking up the postcard from my desk. The morning sun streamed through my office window, highlighting the construction of our second location across the street. To remind me, I replied, not looking up from my laptop. Did you need something? She sat down, placing a familiar leather portfolio on my desk. Your father wanted me to give you this. I recognized it immediately. Dad's business plan from when he started his company 30 years ago. He'd shown it to Terence countless times, but never to me. Why now? Because, she hesitated, he's stepping down. The board, after everything with Terence, they suggested new leadership. That got my attention. And they want you, I laughed. They want me to take over the company that never wanted me in the first place? That's rich. No, Mum leaned forward. They want to merge. Your vision, your methods, they're working. The hub is outperforming every project we've launched in the past decade. So now I'm worthy. Now I'm suited for business. Tessa, please. Her voice cracked. I know we can't undo the past, but your father and I, we've been watching, learning, what you've built here. It's extraordinary. Where's Terence in all this? Rehab, she admitted. The investigation. It broke him. But maybe that's what he needed. What we all needed. I stood up, walking to the window. Below, Maria was opening her bakery for the day, a line already forming. David's tech team was arriving, their excited chatter carrying up through the courtyard. You know what I learned from that postcard? I asked. That sometimes the best thing someone can do is let you go, let you fail or succeed on your own terms. And now? Now I don't need your approval, or Dad's, or the board's. I turned back to her. I built this myself. These people trust me because I earned it, not because of my last name. We know, she said quietly. That's why the board wants you. Not because you're a summer, but because you've proven there's a better way. My phone buzzed. Isaiah sending the latest numbers. We'd just helped our 100th business launch. Tell Dad and the board I'll think about it, I said finally. But I have conditions. Anything? First, the hub stays independent. We can partner with the family company, but what I've built doesn't get absorbed or rebranded. She nodded. Second, Terence gets help, not a cover-up. No more enabling. Already done. He's actually doing better. Talking about starting small, learning the right way. And third, I picked up the postcard. This goes in a frame in the boardroom to remind everyone what happens when you underestimate the wrong person. Mum's eyes welled up. We were wrong about you, so wrong. Yes, you were. I sat back down. But this isn't about proving you wrong anymore. It's about proving me right, about proving that business can be both profitable and purposeful. Julia burst in, excited. Sorry to interrupt, but the mayor's office just called. They want to fast-track permits for 3 more hubs in underserved neighbourhoods. Mum stood up. I should go. But Tessa, whatever you decide about the merger, I'm proud of you. We both are, even if we didn't know how to show it before. After she left, Julia raised an eyebrow. You okay? Better than okay. I handed her the postcard. Frame this. It's going on the boardroom wall. Or as a reminder of what they did? No, I smiled, watching Maria serve customers below, David's team collaborating in the courtyard, new entrepreneurs touring the space with Isaiah. As a reminder that sometimes the worst thing someone can do to you turns out to be the best thing that could have happened. So, about the merger, I picked up Dad's portfolio, flipping through his old business plan. Tell Isaiah to draft a counter-proposal. If they want to join us, they'll do it our way, the hub way. And if they don't agree? then we keep building without them. Either way, we win. I gestured to the thriving community below. Because this is already bigger than any family drama. This is about all the other people out there with postcards of their own, just waiting for someone to believe in them. Julia grinned. Now that sounds like a business plan worth framing. No, I said, pulling out a fresh notebook. That sounds like a legacy worth building. I wrote at the top of the page, Summer Innovation Hub, where every underdog gets their day. Below us, the city buzzed with possibility, and somewhere, in a rehab centre across town, my brother was learning the same lesson I had. Sometimes, losing everything is the first step to building something better,